New Rochelle, Riel, is a city in Westchester County, New York, United States, in the southeastern portion of the state. In 2007, the city had a population of 73,260, making it the seventh largest in the state of New York. As of the 2010 census, the city's population had increased to 77,062. In 2008, New Rochelle was recognized by the American Podiatric Medical Association as one of the 100 best walking cities in America, and the second best in New York State after nearby New York City. In November 2008, Businessweek magazine listed New Rochelle as the best city in New York State, and one of the best places nationally to raise children. In 2014, New Rochelle was voted a best city to live in. 550 cities with a population greater than 65,000 were evaluated based on several factors. New Rochelle ranked 13th on the list, the only city in Westchester County. The article can be found at http://patch.com/new-york/new-rochelle/247-wall-st-new-among-americas-50-best-cities-live history. Etymology and early history. The European settlement was started by refugee Huguenots in 1688. Who were fleeing religious persecution in France after the revocation by the king of the Edict of Nantes. Many of the settlers were artisans and craftsmen from the city of La Rochelle, France, thus influencing the choice of the name of New Rochelle. 17th century. Some 33 families established the community of La Nouvelle Rochelle in 1688. A monument containing the names of these settlers stands in Hudson Park, the original landing point of the Huguenots. 31 years earlier, the Sawanoy Indians, a band of Algonquin-speaking Lenape, sold their land to Thomas Pell. In 1689, Pell officially deeded 6,100 acres for the establishment of a Huguenot community. Jacob Leisler is an important figure in the early histories of both New Rochelle and the nation. He arrived in America as a mercenary in the British Army and later became one of the most prominent merchants in New York. He was subsequently appointed acting governor of the province, and it was during this time that he acted on behalf of the Huguenots. Of all the Huguenot settlements in America founded with the intention of being distinctly French colonies, New Rochelle most clearly conformed to the plans of its founders. The colony continued to attract French refugees until as late as 1760. The choice of name for the city reflected the importance of the city of La Rochelle and of the new settlement in Huguenot history and distinctly French character of the community. French was spoken, and it was common practice for people in neighboring areas to send their children to New Rochelle to learn the language. 18th century. In 1775, General George Washington stopped in New Rochelle on his way to assume command of the Army of the United Colonies in Massachusetts. The British Army briefly occupied sections of New Rochelle and Larchmont in 1776. After the Revolutionary War ended in 1784, Patriot Thomas Paine was given a farm in New Rochelle for his service to the cause of independence. The farm, totaling about 300 acres, had been confiscated from its owners by state of New York due to their Tory activities. The first national census of 1790 shows New Rochelle with 692 residents. 136 were African American, including 36 who were freemen and the remainder slaves. 19th century through the 18th century, New Rochelle had remained a modest village that retained an abundance of agricultural land. During the 19th century, however, New York City was a destination from the mid-century on by waves of immigration, principally from Ireland and Germany. More established American families left New York City and moved into this area. Although the original Huguenot population was rapidly shrinking in relative size, through ownership of land, businesses, banks, and small manufactures, they retained a predominant hold on the political and social life of the town. The 1820 census showed 150 African Americans residing in New Rochelle, 6 of whom were still slaves. The state had abolished slavery by a gradual plan. Children of slave mothers were born free and all slaves were freed by 1827. In 1857 the village of New Rochelle was established within the borders of the town of New Rochelle. A group of volunteers created the first fire service in 1861. In 1899, a bill creating the New Rochelle City Charter was signed by Governor Theodore Roosevelt. It was through this bill that the village and town of New Rochelle were joined into one municipality. In 1899, Michael J. Dillon narrowly defeated Hugh A. Harmer to become New Rochelle's first mayor. The recently established city charter designated a board of aldermen as the legislative unit north of the New York City border. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 13.2 square miles. The city has a rough triangle shape, approximately 10 miles from north to south and 1.5 miles from east to west at its widest point. Demographics. As measured by the census of 2000, New Rochelle had a population of 72,182 people, 24,275 occupied households, and 17,546 families residing in the city. The population density was 6,973.5 people per square mile. There were 26,995 housing units at an average density of 2,608.0 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 68% white, 19% African American, 0.20% Native American, 4% Asian, 0.05% Pacific Islander, 6% from other races, and 3% from 2 or more races. 20% of the population were Hispanic or Latino of any race. In the city the population was spread out with 24.0% under the age of 18, 8.7% from 18 to 24, 29.5% from 25 to 44, 22.2% from 45 to 64, and 15.5% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 37 years. For every 100 females there were 90.7 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 85.9 males. There were 26,189 households, out of which 32.7% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 50.5% were married couples living together, 12.5% had a female householder with no husband present, and 33.0% were non-families. 28.0% of all households were made up of individuals and 11.8% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.68 and the average family size was 3.29. 19,312 residents of New Rochelle were enrolled in school, with 2,743 in preschool or kindergarten, 8,105 in elementary school, 3,704 in high school and 5,030 in college or graduate school. Out of 42,872 individuals over the age of 25, 20% had no high school diploma, 23% were high school graduates, 14% achieved some level of college education, 5% held an associate degree, 19% held a bachelor's degree and 20% possessed a graduate or other advanced degree. The working population was 35,262, 95.7% of whom were employed. The occupational breakdown had 42% working in management, 25% working in sales, 17% in services, 8% in construction, and 7% in production and transport. According to the 2007 Census Bureau estimates, the median income for a household in the city was $64,756 and the median income for a family was $88,004. About 9.8% of the population lived below the poverty line. Residential profile. New Rochelle is commonly referred to as the hometown because of the significant amount of single-family residential development that exists throughout most of the city, while the formerly industrial downtown section is more densely developed, with condominiums, high-rises, offices, shopping centers, affordable housing complexes, a medical center, nursing homes, 2 college campuses and an intermodal transportation hub. The rest of the city consists of sprawling, residential neighborhoods. There are more than 11,500 single-family units within the city, more than that of neighboring Larchmont, Mamaroneck and Scarsdale combined. The total number of separate households surpasses 26,000, more than that of neighboring Pelham, Pelham Manor, Eastchester, Scarsdale, Mamaroneck and Larchmont combined. Housing variety. Some of the country's most expensive real estate can be found in New Rochelle. The north end of the city is ranked in Forbes magazine's list of the 500 most expensive zip codes in the country. According to the list, the average household income was $199,061 and the average home price was over $752,000. Homes in Premium Point, a gated section of the city on Long Island Sound, are priced anywhere from $2 to $20 million. The 3 newest residential developments, Kensington Woods, The Greens at Cherry Lawn, and Riviera Shores, are all gated communities with single-family homes priced from $2 million. With a population approaching 80,000 residents, New York state law dictates that the city provide an adequate amount of affordable housing units. New Rochelle has historically met and surpassed state requirements. It is working to replace the existing Wayman Avenue projects with more community-centered, townhouse-style housing units. By embracing the needs of the poor, New Rochelle sets a precedent for other suburban communities to follow. Neighboring towns, including Mamaroneck, Larchmont and Scarsdale, have failed to meet the minimal affordable housing requirements set by the state. Popular consensus is that the presence of the poor precludes that of the middle class and the wealthy. Considering the large number of working-class and affordable housing units found downtown, the high property values prevalent throughout most of the city reflects the true economic diversity of New Rochelle. It is home to a range of families, from the financially disadvantaged to the very wealthy. One of the wealthiest people in the United States, according to Forbes magazine, was longtime New Rochelle resident and businessman Sidney Frank. Communities within the greater city borders are many established neighborhoods and subsections, several of which are larger in both size and population than neighboring towns of Larchmont, Bronxville and Pelham Manor. The public community areas most noted include Bayberry, Beachmont, Bloomingdale Estates, Bonnycrest, Daisy Farms, Davenport Neck, Echo Manor, Forest Heights, Forest Knolls, French Ridge, Glen Island, Glenwood Lake, Heathcote, Lake Isle, Larchmont Woods, Lincroft, Northfield, Northridge, Payne Heights, Pinebrook, Premium Manor, Quaker Ridge, Residence Park, Rochelle Heights, Sans Souci, Scarsdale Downs, Shore Road, Sutton Manor, Van Eck Estates, Ward Acres, Wilmot Woods and Wickergill. Premium Point, Kensington Woods and Cherry Lawn are gated neighborhoods accessible only by those immediate residents. Government. Since 1932, New Rochelle has operated under a council-manager form of government. The city manager is the chief administrative officer of the city selected to carry out the directives of the council. The manager monitors the city's fiscal condition and enforces its ordinances and laws. The city manager is involved in the discussion of all matters coming before council yet has no final vote. The city council is the legislative body consisting of the mayor and 6 council members. The mayor serves as the presiding officer of the council. Since 1993, the city has had 6 council districts, with 1 council member elected from and by each district. The council functions to set policy, approve the annual budget, appoint the city manager and city clerk, and enact local laws, resolutions and ordinances. Crime statistics according to the New Rochelle Police Department. New Rochelle is the safest city of its size in New York State and the 5th safest city of its size in the United States. The majority of crimes committed within New Rochelle are non-violent property crimes, including burglary, larceny, theft, motor vehicle theft, and arson. Property crime, on a scale of 1 to 10, is 4 compared to the U.S. average of 3. Violent crime is 3, equal to the U.S. average. Landmarks and attractions. Columbia Island, a small island square, situated between David's Island and Pea Island. Up until 1940 it was known as Little Pea Island. CBS purchased it and built a concrete foundation to support a transmitter building topped by a 410-foot-tall antenna tower for WCBS-AM. The transmitter remained in operation until the 1960s, when the station was moved to nearby High Island. Execution Rock's lighthouse, centered in the middle of Long Island Sound, just south of David's Island. The structure was built in 1849 and includes a 55-foot-tall tower and the Keeper's House. It is rumored that the lighthouse's site got its name before the American Revolutionary War, when British colonial authorities executed people by chaining them to the rocks at low tide and allowing the rising water to drown them. In reality, the name was chosen to reflect the historically dangerous shipping area created by the rock's exposure during low tides. Huckleberry Island, a 10-acre island owned by the Huckleberry Indians, Inc., a club within the New York Athletic Club. The island is an important nesting site for waterbirds such as egrets and night herons. Leland Castle, a 19th-century Gothic Revival castle built as the summer residence of Simeon Leland, a wealthy New York City hotel entrepreneur. It has since been acquired by the College of New Rochelle and is used as an art gallery available to the public. St. John's Wilmot Church, a historic Episcopal parish located in the northern end of the city at the intersection of North Avenue and Wilmot Road, formerly referred to as Cooper's Corner. Thomas Paine Historical Site, a historical nexus within the city. The site comprises the country home of the American pamphleteer and Revolutionary War hero Thomas Paine, his burial site, monument, and a museum. Paine's Cottage was built in 1793 and is a National Historic Landmark. The Thomas Paine Memorial Building, built in 1925, houses the library and museum collection of the Thomas Paine National Historical Association. Also on the site is the Brewster Schoolhouse, one of the oldest structural relics in Westchester County. Trinity Street, Paul's Episcopal Church, added to the National Register of Historic Places in 2006. It is located at the northwest corner of Huguenot Street and Division Street. This church represents the body of the majority group of New Rochelle's founding Huguenot French Calvinistic congregation that conformed to the liturgy of the established Church of England in June 1709. King George III gave Trinity its first charter in 1762. After the Revolutionary War, Trinity became a parish of the Protestant Episcopal Church of America.